problem. Apologies for that. I think from my side, as I said, it's just to illustrate our role as a funding institution, being a DFI, which really its mandate is that of taking early risk. So I'll try and showcase the past, the current, as well as the future role that IDC will play in terms of supporting innovative industrial infrastructure projects that enables industrial development opportunities. IDC, I think its core mandate is that of industrialization. I think I'll be doing injustice if I don't highlight who IDC is. I will zoom in on the unit itself that should be playing this role, and then obviously highlight using certain case studies. Some of the case studies, because I didn't want to bulk the presentation, I'll verbally highlight as I get to that particular area. IDC, it is a government-owned DFI, 100% through our EDD department. It was formed, I was not even born or even thought of. Perhaps even my parent was not born. In any case, that time in 1940, we are a self-funding institution, so we don't go to government and ask for money. I'm told the last time we did that was 1956. And since then, IDC is self-funding through our legacy investments as well as the future investments we get involved. Our asset base, it's 130 billion. Obviously highly concentrated in the commodities, so as you see the slump, we do get affected, and the result is that when we go in capital raise, in order for us to put money into the economy, we do get affected by whatever happening, which I think now we're facing a downgrade scenario and so on. We do get involved early on, which then it means we do take a risk, so some of the projects we do come in at development stage. I will highlight some of those that we did, and I think it does actually add value because it gives credence to the project itself. Therefore, the commercial banks can come in because the risks have been dealt with. So we do come in with the de-risking ability. We go out beyond South Africa, the entire continent, but obviously SADC, being closer to us is where normally we want to be in so that we achieve the regional integration objectives. We are headquartered here in Sandton, but available throughout South Africa in all provinces. We've either got a regional office or satellite in some of the areas. IDC in 2015 restructured, repositioned, because restructuring at times comes with retrenchments. There was never such. It was mainly to reposition ourselves to really be at the center of industrialization. And I think this came as a result. As IDC in 1940, we went through different landscapes in terms of the political environment. We needed to be responsive to the whole issue of new democratization. But we realized that we were no longer as proactive as we have been. I think those of you who even are much older than me, you'd know the role IDC played in Sasol. We still have a shareholding in AMSA. I always tell my kids, everything you see, there's a high chance IDC has an equity stake in it. And therefore, we realized in 2015 we needed to be more central, we needed to be more deliberate and focused. We then centered ourselves around 3 core value chains, which on the left, it's your metals and mining value chain, is your chemicals, and lastly is the agro-processing. And these were not just chosen because we felt that day we liked those 3 core sectors, but I think as a country we have the abilities, be it from the input or the market positioning. And as a result, we asked ourselves, what is the limiting factor in actually making those sectors competitive, and infrastructure centered around that conversation. And hence IDC's more focus on industrial infrastructure. So it's a new focus. Yes, we've played a role in it, but perhaps we're not as focused. We don't look after social infrastructure. I think DBSA is best placed for that, but there's a complementary role that we play with DBSA on the economic infrastructure. The other sectors is really sectors that we were in, so your high impact. Here you're talking pulp, paper, packaging. We still needed to play that role, but more in a reactive role. There are also other sectors, I think, that as a country we have limited funders, the textile sector as well as the media and motions, and IDC continues to play that role. So hence we consider them a special high impact. On the new industries, and we have a good relationship with CSIR, and it's really to talk about the new industries of the future. And it centers around enabling technologies, your fuel cells, your energy storage, which I'll highlight some of the projects we're looking at. So for us, really, it's about the enablers. And I think today I'll just concentrate on those two, which are both under my division. And for the industrial infrastructure, we're looking at 4 focus areas, which I think it was Llewellyn, stand to be corrected, that spoke about some of the sectors. So it's energy, it's all forms of energy, be it's coal, it's renewables, and I will highlight our role in renewables that we played as IDC, specifically around de-risking the CSP technology. It is the non-conventional, which is your cogeneration, waste to energy. It's your efficiency, which we want to replicate. I think we had successes on the energy side. We're now trying to see whether we can replicate that success on the water efficiency. So we're working to come up with a product specifically on water, using the agriculture sector as an example of illustrating how we can unlock existing capacity rather than also coming up with new capacity. Logistics, we did support Gautrain. Jack forgot to highlight that, but IDC with TBSA is part of it. On the telecoms, broadband, really it's about connecting. For us, the importance here is about reducing cost, the speed of connectivity. But I think the most important thing is it doesn't matter where you are, whether in Kakamas or you are in Umtata, you should have the ease of doing business. So for us, it's about going to the underserved market. So we're partnering with government here at DTPS, who's our key stakeholder, in ensuring that we support the SA Connect policy. And then lastly, water. I think this is the most aspect that IDC wants to concentrate on. You see, I'm from the Western Cape, hence all my studies I did in all the universities of Western Cape. But you see what's happening. I was there, I think I came back last night. It rained a bit, but nothing has happened. It's actually quite sad. I was saying I was driving here. I wish the rain I'm seeing here can be replicated back home. And the issue then is to how do we as IDC come and collaborate with others and really come up with technologies. We are in the coastal side. Can we unlock the opportunities that the coastal water availability gives us? So desalination plant is one of the things we actually focusing on. Now I think here, as I had said, I'll illustrate using case studies on the past and then current, as well as what we think we should be doing in future. But I think what underpins this is really the collaborative approach. IDC, as much as we have 130 billion asset, we have only allocated 100 billion for the next 5 years, of which this unit takes 23% of it. So we want to put in 23 billion in the economy over the next 5 years, but we know that we want to leverage. So for us, that should have a multiplier effect. So we cannot do it alone. I think some of you that are here, we need to collaborate in order to actually go far and extend. I don't think we'll get, if we get to that 800 billion, it probably it's 1 trillion now because it was spoken about for a number of years. 23 billion is a drop in an ocean, but how do we stretch that? It's very important. So on the past, we've supported on the logistic aspect, a very innovative, I'm told we used to have this as a country. Over time, we lost the capabilities. We're now resuscitating it. It's a very innovative logistics solution. As I said, those who are from the Western Cape will know the cable car. It's exactly something similar, where you take the chrome from the mine to the processing plant. You are contributing towards a sustainable environment, reduction in green emissions, reduction in maintenance cost, supporting the whole road to other forms of transportation methodologies, approach of government. So it's a project in Mpumalanga that will take 100 tons of chrome into a processing plant. IDC supported it, 174 million. But I think for IDC, besides the fact that we want to put in infrastructure that unlocks industrial development, but that has to link to the whole issue of developmental impact. Transformation is at the center of our involvement. So here we're supporting a black industrialist woman who is the largest shareholder in this project. It's a technical environment, so for us to see women participate in highly technical sectors, it's something that we really want to see. It will actually give us 70% local content, so we're not importing the bulk of the system. It will be, so if we do it well here, the replication is quite huge, so the jobs that will come at the back of localization is very important for us. So as I said, we're really getting involved in the revival of something that has worked. On the CSP, I think everybody that's following now, the renewable IPP is at a point where it's a crossroad. But we understand the challenges, and we're working together with government and the private sector to try and see how do we overcome the impasse. Obviously, the minister did announce on the 77 cent. It does affect us. We did support some of the projects. One of them is the CSP in round 3.5. But IDC is probably, there's 5 projects of CSP that were allocated. We are in all of them. One of the projects we supported was the tower project with Abengoa in Northern Cape. No bank was interested because no one knew about tower. It was also a new technology, even globally, still undergoing significant innovation. But because we got involved and we did risk at early stage, we were in before bankability, we were able to attract funders. In fact, I think that project has 8 commercial funders. So for us, it showed as IDC that we've really done our homework. We've done whatever we needed to do, and everybody now will carry the baton. Similarly to your other technologies, PV, wind, we actually saw in round 4 where we hardly had anybody approaching IDC to support it, which for us didn't have an issue, because then it demonstrated that we played our role and everybody now can do it. But CSP, I think IDC sees it as something that we can still play a role, especially around its ability on storage. Some of the projects we see, we were involved in parabolic troughs, we are involved, but we also got to see molten salt technology, for example. It's still new, I think there's 1 or 2 in the world, and as a result, if we do it as a country, I think we have a first mover advantage. I know Morocco now is taking over from us, but I think as a country, we do look and say we've done something. So here, I was just trying to illustrate our role we did in de-risking a technology that everybody didn't understand about. On the current and the future, on the water, as I spoke about, we're looking at coming up with a product. We will partner with the international DFIs to come up with this product, so we will, I think, go big and highlight it. But really here, it's centered around technology. So we're talking to some countries, for example, the Israelis, I believe they've got similar not trends, but they've got similarities, with us as a country, because they also don't have access to water, but yet they do it so well. And it's all centered around technology. So how can we bring those technologies and domesticate them here in South Africa? Those are some of the conversations, and I think some of you here we can actually partner with. Also in the Western Cape, we will partner. I think the City of Cape Town has issued a tender, so we are supporting a lot of technologies around the desalination opportunities. It's a phase, I think, of 2 phases around the effort to actually unlock the challenges the province is facing. Fuel cells, I think that talks to future. That's something that as IDC we supported a demonstration plant in Chamber of Mines. This is really around the issue of beneficiation. We have the largest reserves of platinum, and as a result, I think as a country we need to unlock the value and add that, and fuel cells. So IDC has partnered with, for example, DST. We're part of the HISA program. We established a steering committee, and we are looking at some projects. Energy storage, again, is the future. And for us here, it talks to the chemicals value chain, the mining. We've got the minerals to actually add value and come up with some of the solutions. We have launched with the USTDA a techno-economic study on energy storage. We partnered with the industry associations to see whether, what role can we play. I think in concluding remarks, I'm not going to repeat what I said, but I think for me, it's about what I said earlier on about the issue of collaboration. As a country, the time is now. If we do not take advantage of what's out there in terms of technologies around unlocking industrial infrastructure opportunities, I think we'll look back and we will ask what happened, whilst others are doing it much better than us. Thank you.